Welcome to My Irish Radio Music and Culture News, your connection to everything happening in the world of Irish music and culture. I'm Jamie Flanagan. Each episode will share the latest news from Ireland's vibrant music scene, from traditional and folk to rebel ballads, pub tunes, Celtic rock, and today's top Irish pop. We'll also bring you updates on festivals, cultural events, and people keeping Irish heritage alive around the world. And remember, My Irish Radio is more than just a station. It's your community, your soundtrack, your voice. You can listen 24/7 at myirishradio.com and through the links in the podcast description below. Here's the best part. You can be part of it. Host your very own show on My Irish Radio. Choose your playlist, share your stories, make My Irish Radio your Irish Radio. Let's get into what's happening this week in Irish music and culture.
Our mission today is a deep dive into Irish music and culture trends as we head into 2026. This isn't just a playlist, though. It's a look at the stories being told, where the big cultural investment is going, and how the country is protecting its heritage.
It's a particularly rich dive, actually. We have a fascinating collection here. You've got official funding announcements right next to, deep musical analysis and updates on language preservation.
Right.
What the sources really show us is a culture working at this intersection of powerful tradition and some really complex contemporary issues.
Absolutely. The sources just paint this picture of incredible energy, and not just in Dublin or Cork, but globally. So I think the core question we're exploring for you today is this. What does all this news, from a debut album to a Supreme Court ruling, what does it tell us about the state of Irish creativity and its influence right now?
To answer that, you have to stop seeing these as isolated events. We're connecting the dots for you. We needed to link the individual artistic wins, like a big award or a new band's success, to the huge, large-scale government investments and deep societal shifts in education that are happening at home.
Industry buzz on one side, serious policy on the other.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with where the immediate buzz is, the music scene of 2026. If you're building your next playlist, the sources show massive diversity, but there's a strong theme running through it.
And that theme often runs straight back through history, which I find fascinating.
It really does. I mean, we have to talk about the Irish Lassies and their new album, Immigration Stories. It's this completely unique blend of Appalachian folk fused with traditional Celtic harmonies.
Right.
And the subject matter is laser-focused on 18th and 19th century immigrant experiences.
That album is a huge indicator of where the cultural focus is. It shows this simultaneous desire to look back and process historical identity, the diaspora experience specifically, but to deliver it in a modern sort of genre-bending way.
Yeah.
It speaks to a renewed interest in exploring the trauma and the identity that was forged outside of Ireland itself.
And that deep dive into the past, it contrasts so sharply with the contemporary indie scene that's just, it's exploding.
It is.
So are Irish artists avoiding current political stuff by focusing so much on history?
Not at all. I think they're just diversifying the conversation. So while the Irish Lassies are looking backward, you have this incredibly strong contemporary indie and pop explosion. And that's where the current societal discussions often live.
Okay, so like who?
Well, look at Cardinals. They are pure indie rock. Their debut album, Masquerade, is due in February with a major UK and Ireland tour right after in March. That's a huge launch. It shows a lot of confidence in a contemporary international sound.
And if you contrast that sound, that driving indie rock, you have the newer duo, Kyson Point. They're releasing their first official album, Underwater Sky, which is much more of a contemporary, almost ethereal folk sound.
Mm-hmm.
The strength isn't just in the number of artists, it's the sheer range of sounds they're exploring.
Exactly. And we see these indicators of domestic strength that then quickly translate into global validation. Take, for example, Clifford's, that indie pop band out of Cork. They're gaining serious momentum, mostly fueled by the EP, Salt of the Lee, and their powerhouse of vocalists.
And that success shows the strength of regional scenes, right? It's not all happening in Dublin.
Precisely.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. Think about the career milestone for the Waterford artist Stella and the Dreaming. She's set to support The Cure.
At Marley Park. That's huge.
In June.
Mm-hmm.
Supporting a legacy global icon like The Cure on a major home stage is a clear sign that the infrastructure is validating and elevating these new voices to an international level. I mean, that's not just a gig, that's breakthrough status confirmed.
And we know the industry is scrambling to keep up. The Irish Examiner highlighted a list of 14 emerging acts to watch for 2026.
14.
Yeah, and we don't need to list them all, but names like Dove Ellis and the raw energy of Madra Salah, they just represent the sheer volume and varied talent coming through. It confirms that the whole ecosystem is thriving.
Before we pivot, I have to mention one small human detail the sources caught. Ross McNerney from the band Amble announced his engagement.
Oh, I saw that.
And he's celebrated by sharing this genuinely adorable song about it. It's a small thing, but it just reminds you that behind all the industry buzz and the charts, these are human stories. It kind of grounds the success in community.
That's a lovely point. And it's that sense of community that needs some serious institutional support to really thrive.
So that's the sound of the moment, just this vibrant output.
You're listening to My Irish Music and Culture News, brought to you by My Irish Radio, streaming the best in Irish and Celtic music all day, every day. From classic jigs and reels to the latest Irish rock and pub favorites, we celebrate the sound of Ireland worldwide. Want to be more than a listener? Be a host. Share your love for the Irish music by hosting your own show on My Irish Radio. It's easy to get started. Just send us an email, myirishradio@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can listen 24/7 at myirishradio.com. Make My Irish Radio your Irish Radio.
But none of this happens in a vacuum, right? Where's the infrastructure coming from? Let's talk about the policy, the shifts, and the money that underpins all this global reach.
This is where we go from individual success to the national commitment to culture. We're talking about massive investments from Culture Ireland, and they're specifically focused on international showcasing.
Okay, so give us the key numbers. How big are we talking here?
We're looking at some significant metrics. Culture Ireland announced over €1.1 million in grants, all for 129 Irish arts projects globally.
Wow.
What's crucial to understand is just the scale and the diversity. These grants cover everything from circus and dance, which is maybe not what people first think of as Irish cultural exports,
Right.
to film, literature, music, and theater. And they are spreading this creative output across more than 33 countries.
That is a powerful investment. How did the sources explain the return on that? Is it purely cultural, or is there a diplomatic sort of soft power goal here too? Like, why fund circus arts abroad?
It's absolutely a strategic investment in soft power. By funding diverse forms like circus and contemporary dance, Ireland is purposefully broadening the global definition of what Irish culture even means.
Moving past the stereotypes.
Exactly. It sends a message of artistic modernity, of complexity, and showcasing in over 33 countries, that suggests a real effort to target non-traditional markets, maybe in Asia or South America, expanding creative ties beyond the usual English-speaking world.
It's smart. It's strategic nation branding. But while there's this massive global projection of diversity and modernity, the sources also highlight some crucial domestic shifts.
Okay, let's unpack this. Specifically, the huge changes in education in Northern Ireland.
That educational shift is profound, and we really can't overlook it. The UK Supreme Court ruling mandates that public schools in Northern Ireland must now teach about faiths beyond Christianity.
So this isn't just a small tweak to the curriculum.
No, it's a fundamental restructuring of religious education across the entire region. It's essentially redefining what counts as foundational knowledge for the next generation. It signals a major, legally mandated move toward integrating broader domestic diversity into the core educational structure. It puts the home conversation about identity and pluralism right alongside that global projection we were just talking about. And that tension between preserving something and adapting it, it extends directly to the Irish language itself.
This is where the narrative really comes into focus, showing the two-pronged approach to linguistic heritage that we see in the sources.
Okay.
On one hand, you have immense academic ambition. Linguists are working on compiling the first complete dictionary of ancient Celtic languages. That is a monumental, scholarly project.
Like securing its legacy, almost, regardless of its daily use.
Exactly. It's securing the academic foundation. But on the other hand, the sources remind us of the harsh reality, which is that despite intense efforts to support its use in schools, in media, in daily life, the Irish language is still classified by UNESCO as definitely endangered.
So you have this incredibly high ambition for academic preservation existing right alongside the critical daily challenge of making sure it survives outside of a university.
It's a deep cultural tension.
So we've covered the vibrant music scene, the powerful financial forces backing global arts, and these complex domestic heritage battles over education and language. Let's bring it all together. What's the observable impact of all this infrastructure and talent on the world stage?
Well, the global recognition you see is the direct output of that cultural ecosystem, that industry growth. The Irish Examiner highlighting 14 acts, Culture Ireland supporting 129 projects. That's what creates the environment for talent to flourish internationally.
And the talent is undeniably translating into major top-tier recognition. We have to highlight actress Jessie Buckley receiving a Critics' Choice Award for Best Actress. That's not just a feel-good story. That is validation at the highest level.
That kind of success acts as a powerful beacon. It draws international attention back to the source. And similarly, on the music side, the sources repeatedly noted Siamat as a significant and rising musical voice, someone who resonates far beyond the island.
Yeah.
These individuals, they prove the viability of the whole cultural machine.
It seems like the whole conversation around Irish culture is less about just preservation and more about this dynamic evolution. It's constantly in motion.
It is. The sources consistently show an engagement with the public sphere, whether it's through, anticipation for big events like the Temple Bar Trad Fest and the Dublin Film Festival, or just ongoing discussions about media representation.
Right.
The main narrative that comes out of this deep dive is pretty clear. This is a culture actively investing in its future, reflecting deeply on its past, and navigating these essential modern social issues all at the same time. It's an incredibly rich, multi-layered moment.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. You now have the full snapshot. We've tracked the rise of new diverse acts like Cardinals and the globally validated Stella and the Dreaming.
You've basically witnessed a culture in the act of adaptation. It's blending deep tradition with a very powerful, ambitious modernity.
So what's a final thought for our listener to chew on?
If we connect all these threads to the bigger picture, you see a striking tension. The Supreme Court ruling in Northern Ireland, demanding instruction on faiths beyond Christianity, exists at the exact same time as major funding to project diverse Irish art across dozens of countries.
Okay.
This raises a really important question for you to mull over. How will Ireland balance its fierce and funded global projection of diversity with these continued complex domestic efforts to redefine its own foundational educational and linguistic identities in the years to come?
Right. What does Irish identity even look like when it's successfully embracing the global while simultaneously fighting for the survival of the traditional at home?
That's the question.
The compelling question to leave us with.
That's it for this episode of My Irish Radio, Music and Culture News. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can hear the best in Irish and Celtic music 24 hours a day at myirishradio.com. If you ever dreamed of sharing your favorite tunes and stories, now's your chance. Become one of the hosts. Host your own show right here on My Irish Radio. Just send us an email. It's easy as that. myirishradio@gmail.com. Until next time, it's Jamie Flanagan. Keep the music playing and keep Ireland in your heart.